Let's take it back to school. So I was a makeup girl at school and I did actually get caught out twice, and it would always be because of my eyeliner. I suppose it may be just a little too long. So basically today's video is a back to school routine for the girls who want to wear makeup but they don't want to get caught. Because I don't know about your school, but my school was very like no makeup at all. But as a teenager, makeup was my thing and I really enjoyed doing it. So enjoy, but if you want the basics, this is basically a natural makeup tutorial that just enhances your face a little bit. Nothing too crazy because we don't want to get caught. So in the mornings you would go wash your face and cleanse. Sometimes I would also exfoliate depending if I had a lot of dry skin during the night or something. I have already done that, so you just do whatever you do in the morning. And then maybe 5 or 10 minutes before I do my makeup I'd moisterise, just to keep the skin a little fresh under the makeup. And now to start the makeup, you want to grab yourself a primer. During school, I had the e.l.f.'s Putty Primer, but now they have it in liquid form. And for my personal preference, I prefer liquid now. So we'll use this, but literally anything e.l.f. primers are good. Like their green one, I've literally seen that you can stick pencils to your face with it. I'm yet to try that, but you know, if you need a primer, which is affordable and cheap, e.l.f.'s the one. So I'm gonna just put this on really quick. You can put it all over wherever you apply your makeup, but obviously that would be all over your face. And we're obviously putting primer on because we need this to stay for the next like 7 hours basically. Now that one is really quick drying, like it's basically already dry and I just finished putting it on. I forgot my first step. I'm just gonna have to tell you about it and put it on. I can't believe I forgot it. This is like one of the new things I've learned about makeup. Bronzing drop. If you're someone who wants like a bit of glow to your skin, or if you're really pale like me, then obviously bronzing drops have been the thing at the moment. I have this one from Estee Lauder, which is their Sheer Tint Release Moisturiser. And you would put your bronzing drops like before you do your primer, obviously. But I forget. If you're living in the nowadays, that is something I would suggest buying. Maybe not that one. I know there is now a lot of companies that are doing the same thing. I'm pretty sure Makeup Revolution have now brought out one, which means it's going to be like under £10, maybe under £5. And it's just to give your face a bit of colour kind of underneath the makeup, and then you can do your concealer on the top and kind of bring it back to being a bit natural. But yeah, I cannot believe I forgot that. That isn't the thing I was actually excited to show you as well. You'll have to see on my TikTok. Concealer. Now, I was a concealer girl. I have never been a foundation girl. I think this probably started because of high school, because I did not like seeing other girls with like full on like an inch deep makeup on their face. Like, so something about that was not good. And also they walk around with like orange faces and their neck was white. So we are a concealer girl. And yes, I am going to say to get the colour that you are and not the darker one, because you're just going to be able to see that as orange on your face and it's not a good look. However, if you do want to have your eyes brighter, then get maybe a shade below. I would always get like the lightest one, or basically porcelain, because I'm just so white. We will just dot this under the eyes. Now, if I was at school, I would be doing this with my finger. Not as if I was doing this at school, but if I was back in my school days, I would be blending out with my finger. But as you can see, it just brightens your eyes a little bit. Now, if you do have spots or you do have some redness, literally just take a little bit and just dab it on. And then because if you do get your right shade, it will just blend in anyway, so you'll be all good. Now, I also hated the pores on my nose, so I am going to take a little bit and just dab it on my nose. There is literally no problem with having all the little dots on your nose. I know they're just like oil things and it's natural, everyone has them, but not for me. And that is probably my concealer done. This was Rimmel's Multitasker. Absolutely love it. I reckon when I was at school I was probably using e.l.f. or Collection. Collection's Lasting Perfection. Oh my god. Now, if you wanted to contour, you need this colour. You need the colour that the shadow is creating. No orange streaks. That was the worst thing that I used to see like in school. There'd just be orange splodges on people's face and I would look at them and I'd be like, what was the shade match? Now, I know obviously they probably picked that colour to have the bronzed look, but I mean, if you want the carving of it, you need the shadow, which is usually going to be a bit more of a grey kind of colour. So for this, I'm going to bust out this palette. I have not used this in so many years, but it's still going strong. And, you know, we're going to ignore the months that you have to keep it on the back. But I'm going to use this shade here. And as you can see, it should work. Now, I am doing this before I do my powder, just because if I put too much on, the powder can kind of simmer it down a little bit, because sometimes I can be a bit silly. So you're just literally, lucky for me, I actually already have a good carving there, so I can just put it in and smudge it down. But judging to whatever you want your face to look like, put it wherever. But look, just a little thing is just there and it doesn't look too crazy. I can't lie, but I didn't really do a lot of contour or bronzing. I still don't do them now just because I still don't really know the placement of it. But I do know it's supposed to go it's supposed to go there, and I do still see it as a bit unnecessary unless I do want to look like I've been on holiday for like 2 weeks. I'm also going to take that same shade and just a little bit on the eye just to give it a little bit of a deeper effect. Now onto my favourite part of makeup, it is the blush. And for this we're using two because blush is the main thing that will rub off your face so fast. So I'm going to go in with a liquid one first, and then I'm basically going to set it with the powder one. This is something I've actually learned recently, which I wish I knew how to do. But the other thing I want to say is the placement. Now if you see any of my videos, I do them all the way up here because that's how I like to do it now, but at school you can't be that crazy. So I'm just going to put it in a very natural place, and I'm also only going to do one little dot because naturally you would not be all day every day with a massive red splodge on your face like you've gone running. So I've literally just done one splodge and just took whatever, if I had any excess on the brush, and just splodged it just on the middle bit here. Usually I will go all the way up here with it, but that's just, it just keeps it natural. And the good thing is if it was winter you could get away with a little bit extra blush because, you know, it's cold, and when you go inside your face kind of starts to warm up. So I will put a little dot on my nose. I can't stop. So now that's done, we will go with our powder really quickly. This is just a loose powder. I always used to I always used to oh my god, I always used to use loose powders. I don't really know why. I also don't really know the difference between loose ones and like compact ones. But we'll put this everywhere. I also used to take a powder one to school with me, so during like break or lunch you just quickly dust yourself to make sure you got no sway. Make sure you don't have any like oily bits or sweaty patches. A new thing I've learned is to stop the creases under your eye. Get like a small brush with the powder and just kind of like smudge it in underneath where you got any creases. This will just stop it all batching up. To quickly set the blush, literally just one little dab, and then I just dot it on there. I just don't really want to add too much colour to it, so it's probably better if you use like a really cheap blush to do this, so that you don't really get much payoff. Okay, brows. So during school I'd only really just use a brow product just to fill in my ends because the ends are always sparse for me, so this is basically all I would do. Depending on what your eyebrows look like, you can do whatever, as long as you pick a colour that is your eyebrows and not some jet black and you've not got black hair situation. Now eyeliner is the main thing I did, and what I learned was smaller is the better, so let me just show you what I mean. And that is what I mean. Like, that is considered small to me, and it only comes to about like here. Nowadays my eyeliner is like up here and it goes all the way and come here like a cat eye, but you can't do that at school. Now mascara is just mascara, so just don't use anything too clumpy, and if you want to, curl your lashes too, but I would also prefer for you to use like a clear mascara because then they're already up and just looking nice. My favourite for mascara was definitely the Maybelline Lash Sensational. Oh my god, that one was like my everyday for probably the 5 years. Now onto lip. Now obviously you weren't allowed anything that had a lot of colour, so I would usually just carry this exact lip balm. I found this in Primark like the other week and I had to buy it. This is obviously Fanta one and it is just so good. There's no colour to it or nothing, and it was my staple. It was in my blazer pocket every day. However, if you want minimal colour or just a little bit of shine, then obviously the Dior lip glow is everyone's favourite at the moment, and it makes sense. You just want to find a product that basically has this kind of colour where it's almost clear but just has a little bit of pink in it, or you basically just want to find one that just gives you a little bit of colour. And I'll show you what I mean. Literally the tiniest pop of like natural pink lips. And this is basically the look of my makeup that I used to do to not look too crazy but to also look natural. Let me know if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.